You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN E-mini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things E-mini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro. Joining us today, Mr. Michael Borg. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon, welcome back. Today is Monday, 31st day of July, 2023. Another month has come and gone. Time flies. Thanks so much for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're just glad to have you right here, right now. This is our second live broadcast of the day. The first live broadcast is our live training room. That's reserved for members only and those who are taking their 1-week free trial. That's 2 hours every trading day from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Eastern. If you've not yet taken your 1-week free trial, go to mytradingiq.com, and right at the top of the page, you'll see 5-day free trial. Click that link, complete the form, and the journey begins. Now, it doesn't matter what day of the week or weekend or hour of the day that you sign up for the trial, you'll get 5 consecutive trading days, even if it stretches over a weekend, where you'll not only have access to the live training room each day, but you'll have access to every resource that our lifetime members have access to. And lifetime access comes with no recurring fees, no upsells, no nonsense. Most places where you see unlimited or lifetime, there's a whole bunch of tiny print involved. When we say lifetime and we say unlimited, that's what we mean. So our members, our passport holders, have access not only to the room, but they also have access to unlimited one-on-one private mentoring, strategy that we teach, the indicators that the passport holders own for life are fluid across all markets and all time frames. Futures, stocks, crypto, forex, ETFs. Doesn't matter because price flows the same across all markets and all time frames. Also, the passport holders receive the Logic 247 alerts around the clock, concierge trade alerts, and of course they have access to the members only workshop on Thursday night. And it doesn't cost you a dime. No credit card required. In fact, it's the opposite. We invest our time, energy, money, and resources in you so that at the end of the 5-day free trial, you can make a well-informed and intelligent decision as to whether or not trading is right for you and whether or not what we do is right for you. When the live training room ends at 11:30, we take a 30-minute break and come back for this afternoon broadcast, 12 noon Eastern. Now, there's 2 different ways to join this afternoon broadcast live. Best way, go to mytradingiq.com, scroll down to where it says afternoon broadcast. Click the link, complete the 30-second registration form, and you're done. What will happen after that is every trading day, you'll get an email about an hour before the afternoon broadcast starts. So at 12 noon Eastern, all you have to do is click the link that was in that email, and it will automatically log you into our platform. Now that's the better way because it gives you access to the question box so that you can ask questions and participate in the discussion. There'll be times when you're out of the office, away from your desktop, but you still want to join the afternoon broadcast live. And there'll be days when you're busy and you can't join live, but you wish you could. We have a solution for both situations. It's called our YouTube channel. youtube.com/CFRN. Not only do we broadcast live every trading day on our YouTube channel, as we're doing right now, but we also archive each and every daily broadcast. Currently, there's over 2,200 daily live episodes archived for your educational and viewing pleasure. And if you're new to the world of CFRN, it's a great way to get to know who we really are, not just today or this week, but over the years. You can scroll back 6 days, 6 weeks, 6 months, a year, 2 years, even more. Just pick some days at random. If you do that, you'll see the thread of connectivity, the thread of continuity that's woven through each and every daily broadcast. youtube.com/CFRN. So with a word of topic, developing a habit of gratitude. We all have habits, some good, some bad. We spent a whole week talking about habits in general. For the past week, we've been talking about the importance of developing a habit of gratitude, or what I call an attitude of gratitude. Today's scripture comes from Revelation. A huge crowd in languages, and they were standing, dressed in white robes and waving palm branches, standing before the throne and the Lamb, and heartily singing, "Salvation to our God on his throne, salvation to the Lamb." All those who were standing around the throne, the angels, the elders, the animals, fell on their faces before the throne and worshiped God, singing, "Oh yes, the blessing and glory and wisdom and thanksgiving, the honor and power and strength to our God forever and ever and ever. Oh yes." Just then one of the elders addressed me. "Who are these dressed in white robes, and where did they come from?" Taken aback, I said, "Oh, sir, I have no idea, but you must know." Then he told me, "These are those who come from the great tribulation, and they've washed their robes, scrubbed them clean in the blood of the Lamb." That's why they're standing before God's throne. They serve him day and night in his temple. The one on the throne will pitch his tent there for them. No more hunger, no more thirst, no more scorching heat. The Lamb on the throne will shepherd them, will lead them to spring waters of life, and God will wipe every last tear from their eyes. Right now, in God's presence, the heavenly hosts are giving thanks to God. Think about that. As we give thanks, we join the chorus of God's creatures singing to him. Revelation pulls back the curtain between our world and God's throne so we can glimpse this glorious spectacle. The angels, the beast, which conjure images of the noble animals in C.S. Lewis's World of Narnia, and the 24 elders offer God praise and thanksgiving. Our earthly gratitude as God's people joins us with God's angels in heaven, and together we give thanks to the one worthy of all our worship. All this is happening at this very moment, and all this will happen for eternity, when the heavens come down and God dwells with us on a new earth. Isaiah tells us that on that day, we will feast like we've never feasted before. The most elaborate Thanksgiving Day meal can't compare to the spread before us, and the fellowship around us, and the joy in us on that day. Such a feast will be full of gratitude, rejoicing, and worship. We look forward to this day, when happily ever after moves from a faint hope we dream of to the eternal reality we live in. John of Revelation helps us understand that Thanksgiving is not a temporary spiritual discipline. Gratitude doesn't sprinkle in a little positivity in our otherwise painful lives, because we do live in a fallen world. Thanksgiving will be at the heart of everything we do for eternity. If you are a Christian, then this snapshot into the future has you in it. You are part of this people. Somewhere in the vast multitude of resurrected people, John sees you, and thanksgiving pours out in praises to the King. Gratitude will grip your heart, and thanksgiving will leap from your tongue forever. We give thanks now because we will give thanks for eternity. Practice giving thanks in the present prepares us for the never-ending concert of praise to come. Every tribe, tongue, and nation will celebrate together our redemption in Jesus. Thanksgiving is our future vocation. We will finally enjoy all things and receive all things as God's gifts. Rather than abusing them or turning them into idols, they will be blessings pointing us back to God. Whether it's falling before His throne or roaming the new earth, everything will lead to God-centered gratitude. I hope this vision of thanksgiving in God's presence right now, and the thanksgiving that will take place in God's presence in the age to come, can spur us on to thanksgiving in the here and now. Though we do not yet see Him like we will one day, we still know Him. Through the eyes of faith, we see His goodness, provision, faithfulness, care, and love toward us as His children. We've tasted His mercy, grace, and forgiveness. Best training for our future is cultivating thanksgiving today. We prepare for eternity by giving thanks today and every day. Join me in a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, as we gather before You today, we lift our hearts in gratitude and awe. Your words in Revelation reveals a breathtaking vision of the countless multitudes from every nation, tribe, people, and language, standing before You in glorious unity. We are humbled to be part of this great company of believers, joining together in praise and adoration. We give thanks for the Lamb of God, Jesus Christ, who shed his precious blood to redeem us from sin and grant us eternal life. Through his sacrifice, we have been washed clean, and our robes are made white by his righteousness. In the presence of angels, elders, and saints, we come to you today with contrite hearts, acknowledging our imperfections, seeking your mercy and grace. May your Spirit dwell within us, guiding our steps and empowering us to live lives that honor and glorify your holy name. Father, we pray for those who are still walking in darkness, distant from your embrace. May your light shine brightly upon them, drawing them to salvation through the love of Christ. We also remember the suffering and persecuted church around the world, who endure trials and tribulations for their faith. Strengthen and sustain them, Lord, and grant them unwavering courage and hope in the midst of adversity. With hearts full of joy and anticipation, we look forward to the day when we will stand before your throne, singing praises of eternal glory. Until that moment, grant us the peace and the grace to walk faithfully in your ways, reflecting your love and compassion to a broken world. It's in Jesus' name we believe and pray. And everybody said, Amen. Amen. Happy Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. Let me give you the numbers from around the world. Start here in the U.S. with the cash markets, or the indices as they're called. Dow's up 2 points. NASDAQ's up 16. S&P 500's up 1.5. Russell 2000 is up 16, which for the Russell is almost 1%. In the commodity basket, crude oil up 95 cents, trading 81.53 last. It's a gain of almost 1.25%. Gold's up $9.30, trading 2,920 last. Silver up 45 cents, trading 24.95 last. That's a gain of almost 2%, or $2,500 per contract traded. In the Asian markets at the close, Nikkei posted a gain of 412 points. That's 1.25%. Shanghai rose 15. The Hang Seng rose 162, which is almost 1%. And in the European markets at the close, the FTSE posted a gain of 5 points. The DAX fell 22 points. The CAC rose 21. So that gave us a green day in Asia. It was a mixed day for the UK. So far, it's a green Radio Monday here in the US of A, but just barely in the green, with the exception of the Russell. We're at about 0.75% there. So if you're tuned in via the YouTube channel, you know that the topic of today's episode is how do bank failures impact the markets? Because in case you didn't hear, another one fell over the weekend. Heartland Tri-State Bank of Elkhart, Kansas failed on Friday, with the FDIC taking control. The FDIC agreed to assume all the deposits of Heartland Tri-State Bank to protect customers entering a purchase and assumption agreement with Dream First Bank of Syracuse, Kansas. That means the 4 branches of Heartland Tri-State Bank reopened this morning as branches of Dream First Bank. Now, you don't hear Jamie Dimon's name mentioned, probably the greatest modern day bank robber out there. But who owns Dream First Bank? Well, I already gave it away. The recent closure of First Republic, Silicon Valley Bank, and Signature Bank so far this year have shaken up the banking industry, prompting lawmakers to introduce new legislation to protect customer deposits and stabilize the financial system. Heartland Tri-State Bank is the first bank to fall since First Republic, the nation's second largest bank failure ever. That happened back in early May. The FDIC said bank customers can still access their money by writing checks or using ATM or debit cards. They also won't have to change their banking, as they will automatically become customers of Dream First Bank. Heartland Tri-State Bank had approximately $139 million in total assets and $130 million in total deposits. Dream First Bank also agreed to buy essentially all of Heartland's Tri-State's failed assets. Loan customers should be largely unaffected, according to the FDIC, because the FDIC and Dream First Bank are entering an agreement to share in the losses and potential recoveries on the loans. The FDIC warned you should continue to make payments, including escrow payments, as usual. The terms of your loan will not change. Well, what didn't they tell you? I think we all know that bank failures have a significant impact on the financial markets, investor sentiment, and the overall economy. We've all seen that Christmas movie, It's a Wonderful Life. And we're living through it right now. When a bank fails, it can trigger a chain of events that affect various sectors and participants in the financial system. Here's just a couple of ways that bank failures can impact the markets. Number one, bank failures can erode investor confidence, leading to increased uncertainty and risk aversion. Investors may become more cautious, resulting in selling pressure in the stock market and other risky assets as they seek safer investment options. Number two, bank failures can create a credit crunch as lending institutions become more risk averse. When banks fail, other financial institutions will tighten their lending standards and reduce credit availability, making it harder for individuals and businesses to obtain loans. This restricted credit flow can slow down economic activity and lead to a decline in consumer spending and business investment. Number three, bank failures can trigger a domino effect in the financial system, spreading fear and uncertainty to other banks and financial institutions. This phenomenon, known as contagion risk, can lead to a loss of trust among market participants and a broader crisis of confidence in the financial system. Bank failures can cause heightened market volatility, particularly in the financial sector. Share prices of other banks and institutions may experience sharp declines as investors worry about potential risks and exposure to troubled assets. Number five, when a bank fails, depositors may lose access to their savings beyond the insured limit set by the FDIC, which is currently $250,000 per account. Now, you can have multiple accounts, and a husband and wife, they can each have an account. There's a number of ways to, spread the risk. But the bottom line is if this domino effect happens, now the FDIC does not have enough money to cover all of it. But the Fed can always crank up the printing press. In fact, I would assume that they're greasing the wheels right now to get it going. 6, in response to a bank failure, governments may intervene to stabilize the financial system. Bailouts, government guarantees, and other forms of financial support are implemented to restore confidence and prevent further systemic risks. But who pays for that? Well, the American taxpayer. Government intervention can impact fiscal policies and government debt, influencing bond markets and interest rates. 7. The failure of a large and interconnected bank can pose systemic risk, jeopardizing the stability of the entire financial system. Potential collapse of a systemically important bank can have far-reaching consequences that affect other banks, financial institutions, and markets worldwide. And banking failures often lead to calls for regulatory reforms to prevent similar crises in the future. Governments may enact stricter regulations and oversight on financial institutions, which will in turn impact their profitability and operations. Bottom line, it's not a pretty picture. Bank failures have far-reaching implications that extend far beyond the financial sector. They can shake investor confidence, disrupt credit markets, lead to economic slowdowns, and trigger broader financial crises. The impact of bank failures on the markets underscores the importance of strong risk management practices, effective regulatory supervision, and prudent financial decision-making to safeguard the stability of the financial system. If you have money in a bank, I would think twice about leaving it there. Plain and simple. Of course, the difficulty you'll run into at this point, and we've been warning about this for years, is getting your money out of the bank. Well, why do you need this money? Well, we'll just give you a cashier's check. No, I want my money. Well, you'll have to come back. You'll have to speak to somebody higher up the food chain. And that amount that triggers a no keeps dropping and dropping and dropping. And this whole Fed Now business is going to mean the Fed knows every dime you spend and where you spend it and what you spend it on. Guys, we're headed into a world that the world has, well, we're headed into a world that other countries have seen, but never in America. But with each passing day, you have to take some kind of action. Sit with a financial planner. Figure out what the safest way is for your situation, because every person has a unique financial situation. Get some advice. In fact, when you go to the doctor, sometimes you say, well, I want a second opinion. In this case, you might want a second and even a third opinion from someone who's licensed to dispense such advice. And then you sit with those answers and you pray over them. And the one that resonates with your spirit, with the Holy Spirit, perhaps that would be the one you would choose. All right. Let's It's happening, and it's probably going to continue to happen because it is a domino effect. Logic 247, that's our 24/7 around-the-clock E-mini alert service. It's not just the E-minis, but crude, gold, silver, euro, bonds, soybeans. Over the last 261 weeks, we've issued over 14,700 individual handcrafted alerts. In fact, I think we're almost at 14,800. Since the markets opened last night, we issued a total of 17 alerts. Still waiting on the outcome of 9. We had 8 actionable alerts, of which 1, or 13%, would have been stopped out based on the risk profile that we teach all of our passport holders in their unlimited one-on-one mentoring sessions. Last week, we wrapped up with 8% for the week. Over the last 261 weeks, we've averaged 20% or less of the alerts being stopped out based on that risk profile. Now, the logic alerts are based on current price action, but they have time built in for you to get the alert, study the 30-minute chart, see the window of opportunity that it represents, and then be prepared to take action when price reaches the entry point. Now, the alerts are a training tool because our goal is for you to become self-sufficient. You do not want to spend the rest of your life depending upon somebody else to tell you when to get in and when to get out. You want to be able to look at a chart. You want to be able to read the chart. You want to be able to understand price action, our strategy, our indicators, our weekly trading zones. And then you don't need the alerts. Use the alerts as they're intended, as a training tool to help you become self-sufficient. Now, because futures trade around the clock and we have traders around the globe, a Logic 247 alert can come out at 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. It's whenever opportunity presents itself. And we define that as a high probability, low risk trade opportunity. Our original alert service, the concierge trade alerts, they're different in a couple ways. Number one, they're based on historic price action. When current price action meets historic price action, that's where you'll find some of your best high probability, low risk trade opportunities. The CTA report is published shortly after the Globex Open every evening. This was last night. So for some reason it says Monday. Well, the reason it said Monday is because I typed in Monday instead of Sunday. So last night at 6:25 p.m. Eastern, all of our members and trial members received this information. Okay? Cover the same markets with the CTAs as we do with the logic alerts. Now, the logic alerts have initial targets, secondary targets, third targets, and final trade to targets. Whereas the CTAs give you a bigger picture look at the market to help you understand where price is trying to go. So the logic alerts operate sort of inside the CTAs. It's not an either-or proposition. The two work hand in hand. Now, as again, we cover the same markets, but we'll focus on the ES here for a minute just so you understand what they are. When the report is published, the first thing you do is go to your 30-minute chart and make note of where price is at the time of the release. It's always going to be between these two numbers. Then draw a line in the sand at the long target and a line in the sand at the short target. Those will serve as great visual cues to help you stay on the right side of the street. Price gets above the 30-minute BBC, it's attempting to reach the long target. Price gets below the 30-minute BBC, it's attempting to reach the short target. That's simple. You have to look left to spot potential obstacles and know how price behaves at a weekly trading zone. Price is always trying to reach a weekly trading zone from the moment the markets open, Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern, till they close Friday afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern. Price is above the 30-minute BBC, it's attempting to reach the zone above. Price is below the 30-minute BBC, it's attempting to reach the zone below. When price rallies up to a zone, we expect resistance. When price drops to a zone, we expect support, until proven otherwise. You got to resist the urge to make it more complicated than that. As long as you know which way the wind is blowing, it's pretty simple to reach your goal for the day. On the logic alerts, I've already looked left for you. So the initial target on the logic alerts is designed to simply help you get your goal for the day. If you decide to stay in the trade, then on a short, it'll say potential support, potential support, potential support. If it's a long, it'll say potential resistance, potential resistance. That's because I've already done the work of looking left for you. And again, it's an aid so that you learn how to look left and spot potential obstacles. We've published the weekly trading zones since December 14th of 2009. Once you understand how price behaves around the zone, zones will become one of the most important tools in your trading toolbox. You simply have to resist the urge to make it more complicated than that. Again, as long as you know which way the wind's blowing, it's pretty simple to reach your goal for the day. And then you have to have the self-discipline to put the mouse away. How many times have you been up on the day? Oh, I'm on a roll. I'm killing it, man. And by the time the bell rings on Wall Street in the afternoon, you're waist deep in your own tears. Get your goal for the day. Put the mouse away. Let's go to the daily chart, where we find what we expected. Resistance at blue and climbing. The step line crossed days ago. So price always reverts to the mean. In our case, the mean is green. It's called the BBC. It stands for bull bear cross. The price, whether it's on the daily chart or my 30-minute chart, if price is below the green line, that's bearish. We're looking for lower prices. When price is above the BBC, we're bullish and looking for higher prices. The pullback to the BBC holds more often than not, like here, and here, and here, and here. Now, on the way up, blue and climbing is your friend. But once blue and climbing gets directly above price, it becomes resistance. Why? Because it's on its way to becoming red and falling, which represents resistance. The market took 1, 2, 3 days to get through the 24% fib extension. And on this pullback, it held as support, 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 support. Right now, price is pinched between resistance at blue and sideways and the step line. Got resistance here, support here. That defines the day. We spiked blue and climbing a little bit, and we did on Friday. But what's really important is we closed below it. So if we continue, now today has just been a sideways mess. If that continues, then blue and climbing is going to turn to red and falling. And once the step line crosses blue and climbing, that's the first heads up. The pull back to the BBC is on the way. On the ES, sideways mess. These are last week's zones. All alerts issued on Sunday night are based on last week's zones. This week's zones are published Monday morning, 6:15 a.m. Eastern, for our members and trial members. This gives our traders the opportunity to get the zones on their chart before Wall Street even wakes up for the week. Although the Wall Street open, while there is a lot of volatility that first 30 minutes, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that big a deal because futures trade around the clock. Now, that first 30 minutes has a lot of heightened volatility. So personally, I just choose to do something else till the markets get back into their normal rhythm. Okay? Because at the Wall Street open, there's a lot of pent-up energy that gets released. So the markets will go up, they'll go down. And, well, I discovered long ago that 75% of my stop outs happened in the first 30 minutes of Wall Street. So by simply choosing as a personal preference not to trade during that period of time, it dramatically changed things for me. You may find the same thing. Well, the audio's on, so I'm not sure why you're having an issue. But nonetheless, I know the audio's working because, who was it? Somebody typed in amen at the end of the prayer. So anyway, here's where the market opened last night. The vertical line separates today, Monday. Here's Friday, here's Thursday. These are last week's zones because all alerts issued on Sunday night are based on the previous week's zones. Yeah, thanks, Gary. I know it's working. I don't know. People are having issues with the GoToWebinar system, but thank you very much. All right. So, market open, and it ran up where? To Friday's high. Could it overcome it? Nope. It immediately dropped below blue and climbing, below the BBC, went straight to the weekly trading zone at 45.96/97, where it found support. Then we got above the BBC, red and falling, turned to blue and climbing. And again, we ran into this high put in Friday. We spiked it a little bit, but the fact that price couldn't get through it, couldn't get to this high Thursday afternoon, is a sign of weakness. Blue and climbing has turned to red and falling. So where's price most likely to go? Well, you got potential support right here, and then back to the zone. On the Dow, here's where the market opened, dropped to the short target. Plenty of room to get your goal for the day. Then price got back to the zone, consolidated, got above the BBC, then gave you plenty of opportunity to get your goal on the upside. Could it break Friday's high? Oh, that swing high right there held everything in check. That should help you understand which way the wind's blowing. Okay. The institutional traders are not they don't have any level of conviction on the upside at the moment. That's part of the bank failure thing we were talking about coming into play. So we've got support at the zone here and here and here. On the Russell, here's where the market opened, dropped right down to the weekly trading zone, got above the BBC, made a beeline for the target. Now it's been consolidating for 1, 2, 3.5 hours at the zone. On the NQ, that same sideways action. This is topping action. We get a little move up. We did take out Friday's high, but it quickly failed like the other markets. Found support at the zone like the other markets. Got above the BBC, gave you plenty of room to get your goal for the day, which is a good thing in a sideways market like this. This is not a sideways market. This is a transition from an uptrend to a downtrend. Look at all the hours that we found support at the zone. So we need to see a break of this low, and there's potential support at this low, and then the zone. Crude, price pulled back to the BBC, ran to the target. Perfect stack on the way up. Price, step line, blue and climbing, BBC. Now blue and climbing has gotten directly above price, and what's price doing? It's dropping back to the BBC. Pullback holds more often than not. You'll see it again and again and again. Okay. If it doesn't hold, then that creates a window of opportunity back down to this swing low right here for this zone from last week. On tomorrow's broadcast, there will be this week's zones. Gold, we're now trading the Z contract. Here's where we opened. We opened with red and falling. Took us below the BBC. Took us right to the target. Bounced up to the BBC. Dropped to the target. And through the target. Where to find support? Look left. It's never a mystery. Off we go. Get a little retracement. Price is always trying to reach a weekly zone. And there we did. Silver. We dropped below the BBC. We hit the short target. Bounce up to the BBC. Hit the short target. Above the BBC. We're up to long target. Then we traded through this zone. Retraced to the zone we sliced through. Resistance at the zone. And the step line has now crossed blue and climbing. So anticipate a pullback.
per contract per 2-hour trading day. Now that's not actually 2 hours of trading, but and this is, we got our goal for the day on 139 out of 143 days. I feel like I didn't update that this morning. I'll have to check that. But we've got our goal for the day on 139 out of 143 days, and that puts us at $64,142 on the year. Okay, and just make sure I did update that. I'm not sure I did. I might be down a day here, but over 143 days, averaging $448 per contract per 2-hour trading day. Now, if you were to quit trading when you get your goal for the day, and you were to add 1 contract per month, so far this year, you would have had to work 44.23 hours, and you would have averaged on the year. Now, if you quit trading when you get your goal and you add 1 contract a month, that is, you would have averaged $1,829 per hour for those 44.23 hours. Okay. Got to get into the trades here because I got a little bit of a late start. Let me make sure I have the live stream ready to go. I do. Okay. On gold, we only had 1 trade. We had plus 10 ticks. On the ES, we only had 1 trade and it was break even. On gold, I'll show you where it was right here toward the end. We had plus 10 ticks. On the ES, right here, and it was break even. Okay, there's a lot of no trade zone in there on the ES. On the Russell, we had a few trades, but we only had 1 that really counted. We had a break even there. We had a break even there, a break even there, and there was a break even there, and right here was the one that counted. We got 10 ticks on that one. Okay, so now we're down to the NQ, and we have 3 minutes to cover the NQ. That should be plenty of time. All right, you guys can all hear me okay now, right? And Dwayne's not in right now, but he's probably fixing his audio issue that he had. All right, so on the NQ, let me scroll all the way back here. Right, and for what it's worth, they said the audio issue didn't start until you started doing the CTA recap. All right, so here we go on the NQ. Our first trade on the NQ was right here. We picked up 30 ticks on that one. Then we stopped out on the next one. I didn't get any of this stuff in here, but we took this one and we stopped out minus 20 ticks. Then we grabbed this one and we got 30 ticks. So we went to plus 30, minus 20 to 10, plus 30 to 40, and then plus 30 to 70. And we had a break even. There were some nice trades through here, but I ended up with a couple of break evens going through there. And then right over here, I had a plus 8 to get me to 78. Then I had a whole bunch of no trade zone in there for a little while. And I did the training, and then we started up again and plus 4 to get me to 82. And then this was toward the end of the session. It was the last trade I did right here, plus 30. On these 2 trades, was that plus 4? It was plus 4. On these 2 trades right here, I did the math for everybody out loud as the bar was forming. I was able to do that for everybody. Because, well, I just wanted to show how I do it when I look at a bar and I think about how the bar is forming and where I need to put my order. Okay, but we ended up with plus 112, plus 112 on the total for the NQ today. So you had some nice trades in here and here and here. I didn't get any of those, but I'll just go through this really quick with you. See, the top of this bar is at 18, is it at 832? So subtract 4 from that, it'd be 828. Subtract 1 tick, 827.75. That's what I'd be selling right now. If I were looking for a trade on a down close of this bar, it'd be 827.75 right there. Okay, I'm not looking for that, but that's where the order would be waiting if I was. I'd be filled right now, somewhere in there, 827.75, 827.50, probably a quarter, something like that. It's not a valid trade, but that's how I do the math. Just so you guys know, it's 4 points. 4 points from the top of the bar, and then add a tick, or subtract a tick, whatever direction you're going in. Okay, but you can see there were some great trades in here. Some really nice trades in here. All right. And that's it. There, I did it all in 7 minutes. So if you've not taken a free trial with us and you want to take a free trial with us, go here to mytradingiq.com. Here, sign up for the free trial. 9:32 11:30, you can do that. Download the trading platform or Just sign up for the trading platform and give us the information we need in there. Watch the videos in here, okay? I went through one today with one of our fellows who's been around for a really long time, since like 2016. And he had to set up, he's taken trials with the different platforms, but he was doing this one. I don't think he watched this video. Just watch that video. It walks you through every step. Okay, I watched it again myself today just to make sure it did. And even though it's a really old video, it's still, everything's the same in there. Well, really old, relatively old video. Okay. All right. So with that, I'm going to jump into the live stream right now. So let me just refresh that side of it over here. And share this, do that, hit start stream. Let me close this camera. There we go. And bang, we should be streaming live. There we go, we are. Okay, so now what we're looking for here, we just had a green arrow long trade over here on the gold. We're anticipating that that is going to get up to the prior swing high. You see, I drew some lines in there for some reason earlier. I would have to go and look at them to figure out why I drew those lines in there. I think I was establishing a range or something like that. Over here on the NQ, we had a short trade right here just a few minutes ago. It's putting in a lower swing. We need that to pull back. Over here on the ES, this aqua area in the background here, that is a no trade zone. All right, I have no trade zones turned on all these markets right now. So if you get into a no trade zone, the background is going to be like that. All right, now the no trade zones, you're not going to get any arrows issued. All right, it's just a warning saying that you really shouldn't be trading here unless you know better. You really shouldn't be trading there. All right, and on the Russell, we just had some really nice trades right here. One there, one there. We got a really nice one there on the NQ, and we have this one over here on the gold that's still working. All right, so for the people who are in here who are on the live stream in TradingView, if you have any questions, you want me to look at anything other than futures, just type in the symbol. Okay, just type in the symbol. I know this is all futures right here. We're all just looking at the ES, the NQ, the Russell, and gold. All right, and these are all range bars. So this is a 16 range. So every bar is the same size, 16 ticks on the end. And these other three, they're all 7 range bars. So every bar is the same size on all 3 of those charts. Okay, so on the NQ, you see right here, we're starting to get a pullback. We need that to get up into the overbought, or for this to get up into the ribbon, or both to get a trade set up. All right, that's the only way we're going to get a trade set up. Same thing here on the Russell. Okay, and the ES just came out of the no trade zone, but I'm not really convinced that's going to give us anything. We're in the overbought now on the NQ, so we could have a trade there on the NQ. Let me just move a few of these out of the way, and we'll take a look. So the NQ, if it hits the ribbon right now, it hasn't hit the ribbon yet, but if it does hit the ribbon, there, now it has. Okay, so now we're looking for a down close from this bar, 2350 down to 1950 minus a tick, unless that top goes up a little bit more. Oh, it's 23, right, 2350 down to 1950 minus a tick. That's what I'm looking for on this bar. Now, even if it doesn't pull this out of the overbought and give us an arrow, it's still a trade because the black line is in the red and it just triggered us in. Okay, so we're in the trade right now. And now every trade starts out with 20 ticks of risk. It looks like it's going to stop me right out. It did stop me right out. So every trade on the NQ starts out with 20 ticks of risk. Okay, and that one just stopped me right out, minus 20 ticks. It also has a 30 tick target on it, but we never got to do the target part. Over here on the ES, you want to see that pull back up into the ribbon, or get this into the overbought. Same thing here on the Russell. All right, now this is going to push down. It should get all the way down through here, but we just stopped out on that last one. On the day today, we had the last day of the month, the last day of July. We were up $710 a contract this morning, with 112 ticks of that being on the NQ. Now, because it's the 7th month of the year, we're trading 7 contracts this morning. Tomorrow will be the 8th month, and I've earned my way up to trading 8 contracts tomorrow and for the next month. Right, I needed to make $14,000 in this column right here, which is the column. What that shows is with 7 contracts, if I quit trading when I got my goal for the day, every day for the month of July, I needed to make $14,000 to be able to trade up to the next contract. All right, $2,000 per contract. So next month, tomorrow, I'll start with 8 contracts, and I need to make $16,000 quitting when I get my goal for the day. with 8 contracts on, right? So this month was 7 contracts on, quitting when I got the goal for the day. I ended with $18,182. Okay. Now we're back in here and waiting. We want to see gold finish the run up right here. This is what the gold DOM looks like right now. So the high of the day is up here. Right here is the high of the day. And it looks like it wants to go through that high of the day. I think it's going to go through the high of the day. Now, being that it's Monday, we had to put new weekly trading zones on today. Okay, let me jump into here for a minute. All right, in the live stream, I don't see anybody asking any questions. Don't be shy in there. Okay, we anticipate and we encourage the questions. So if you want to see anything else, you want to see me do it on an equity. And SYMBOL. Okay, for some reason that doesn't look like it showed up, but we really do encourage the questions. The NQ did not continue the trend down, so it makes me wonder if these others are going to. But on the Russell right now, we're in the ribbon and we're in the overbought. On the ES, we're in the overbought, but not in the ribbon. So if we got a down close on this bar and it pulled it out of the overbought, we'd have a black arrow here on the ES. And if we go to down close on this one and pulled it out of the overbought, we'd have a green arrow here on the Russell. The difference being that it touched the ribbon. Okay, coming out of the overbought is going to give you an arrow. If it touches the ribbon, it's going to be a green arrow. The green arrows are higher probability. I know it didn't look like that over there on the NQ, but this one over here on gold is a better example of it. Or if we look at the whole day, this green arrow, this green arrow, this green arrow, all profitable trades. Green arrow, green arrow, green arrow, green arrow. That one didn't work out. But you get the picture. Excuse me. All right, you see this blue area, this aqua area in the background, that is a no trade zone on the NQ right now. So I'm going to stop looking at the NQ for possible trades. And yeah, that's it. If you have not taken a free trial with us and you want to, go to mytradingiq.com. All right, go here to mytradingiq.com right here. Sign up for your free 5-day training. All right. It really is free. No credit card required. If you're in here in the live stream on TradingView, then you already have a TradingView ID. You just need to give us that. If you were to click on this, you will see here, I'm waiting for these markets to give us trades. But if you were to click on that, you will see it's loading up. I can close this one. That was last week. Still loading. Wow, taking a long time. All right, so the Russell's not going to give us a trade because it's pulled back too deep. Now, how deep is too deep, you might ask? Too deep is when this black line here gets into the wrong color. Like if it's pulling back like this for a short and the black line gets into the green, that's too deep. You're not going to get any arrows on that one. Here on the ES, the green is way down here and the black line's way up there, so you could still have a trade here on the ES. Okay, so we're just waiting on that. We're not going to end up with anything on the Russell right there. Really, if you guys are watching in the live stream and you want to see any symbol, just let me know. Hey, Dwayne's in there. Good. Good. Hopefully you got the audio stuff straightened out too. What was I going to do? Oh, this is what I was trying to do. Here it is. So if you click on that link to sign up for the free trial, this is all that you have to put in. Okay. That's it. And if you're watching in a live stream on TradingView, right here is where you enter your username, your TradingView username. If you give us that information, we can enable your indicators right away. All right. It's a really easy process for us to enable your indicators. So If you do it while you're signing up for the trial, we'll get it done for you. And let you know as soon as you know you're signed up, and you'll have access to the indicators. That, by the way, is the only way to get access to the indicators, is to sign up for the free trial. You can't find these indicators in the indicator store. Well, indicator store. If you go in here to indicators, if you go under this thing, I'm trying to click on that, you're not going to find them in community scripts or technicals or anything like that. They're only in invite-only scripts. And we'll only have that if you sign up for the trial. Okay. All right, so the NQ is on a tear right there. And the ES is starting to be, the Russell, see, the ES hasn't disqualified itself yet, but it looks like it's going to. The Russell totally has. The gold, we want to see that put in a higher swing, which it hasn't done yet. Oh, I think I taunted you a few minutes ago. It's Monday, so we're in a new week, so we have a new set of weekly trading zones. But you can see right here, this is gold, and the gold made it from down here at the weekly trading zone this morning up to the midpoint. Came back down, hit blue and climbing. When Dwayne is talking about blue and climbing, this is the MA1 right here. This is what he's talking about, blue and climbing. Came back down, hit blue and climbing and the weekly trading zone at the same time. And ran back up to the midpoint off of that. I think we discussed that this morning in the room. This one just made it up to the midpoint and kind of hovered there all day. It's got the ribbon right down below it, so it's kind of sideways. And that's the NQ. So we did the gold and the NQ. Now look at the Russell. The Russell did the same thing, back and forth between the midpoint and the weekly trading zone, and now it's bouncing off the midpoint again. I'm sorry, the weekly trading zone again toward the midpoint. It's been back and forth all morning. Which one haven't we done? The Russell, the NQ, the gold. I don't think the gold. The ES is the one we haven't done, right? And the ES has been hovering right at the midpoint, and the BBC all morning. We have a bunch of high impact news coming out the rest of the week. So yeah, it was the last day of the month. The first day of next month is tomorrow, with high impact news every day the rest of the week. So could be that, no, we're just waiting. I know we're just waiting right now. We're waiting for a trade setup. We don't have anything else coming up right here. So if anybody that's watching in a live stream is interested in any of the symbol, you just have to give me the symbol. What is the stop set at on the NQ? On the NQ, I set the stop at 20 ticks, David. It's a 16 range, so the stop is set at 20 ticks. That is, oh, I don't know what just happened there. All right, let's go back here. That seems like it would probably be the quickest thing to come back. What I was trying to do was go here and go to trade rules. In here on the trade rules, go to mytradingiq.com, trade rules, right here for a 20 tick range bar. I'm sorry, for a 16 tick range bar, which is what we have the NQ on. It's a 20 tick stop right here. Okay, for a 16 range bar, 20 tick stop. Okay. I could go further out on that stuff. I don't know what is going on here with all this stuff being really slow. And now it says disconnected. Okay, let me reconnect to that. Now it says disconnected in here. Okay, so I'm disconnecting and reconnecting myself. All right, I think the live stream is still going. Yeah, if you've not followed us yet and you want to be notified when we do things like this, because we may do something first thing in the morning at the open. Probably we will do something at some point this week at the open. And if you want to be notified what day that is when we do that, make sure you follow us on TradingView, right? Hit the follow button, wherever that is for you guys. And you'll be notified when we do that this week. Okay. Could be as early as tomorrow. As a matter of fact, why don't we make it tomorrow? We'll do from 9:30 to 10 tomorrow morning. How's that sound? We'll do a live stream from 9:30 to 10 tomorrow morning, in addition to the afternoon session, the 1 o'clock session that we're doing right now. And the morning session we do from 9:30 to 11:30. We will do a live stream from 9:30 to 10 tomorrow morning. Okay. Put it on your calendar. But if you follow us, you'll be notified. If you hit the follow button, you'll be notified when I set that up tomorrow. Okay, or when I begin it tomorrow morning. All right. All right, so on the NQ, we've changed directions. We've come all the way back down. We're testing the ribbon again. So let's do the math in the other direction right now. Okay, on the NQ. The low of this bar right now is 34, going to be 38 and a quarter. 38 and a quarter is what we're going to be buying on. 38.25. Here it is. Okay, so the bottom of the bar is 33. Oops, I'm sorry, that's not 38. It's 37. On the bottom of the bar is now 32.75. Well, it just triggered us in. I was doing the math for you. Okay, so now the way it's triggered us in. Now the stop is back there 20 ticks away, and the target is up here 30 ticks away. Okay, now I have a strategy set up so that I have two different strategies. One is to set it up so it bumps the stop to break even after it goes 8 ticks in profit. We haven't gotten 8 ticks in profit yet, so we got to wait and see if we're going to stop out again on this one or not. It looks like we probably are. Yep, we did. Okay, so that's unfortunate. On the NQ, we got stopped out with 2 green arrows in a row. That is really unfortunate and unusual. We get stopped out in both directions, back to back like that. Well, it is what it is. If markets do that, that means the markets are whipping around. And you may want to wait until they stop whipping around. Like, you may want to wait until it puts in a higher swing in one direction. You know, the markets are always doing the same thing. And let me show you what I mean. They're always going up and down like this, right? And usually with the time frames that we use, the stop that we use is going to be good enough. But what this is doing right now is a huge move up and then a big move down and then a huge move up is probably what it's doing. If we look at this on a larger time frame, that's probably what it's doing. It could be going the other way. It could be a huge move down with a huge move up with a huge move down. We'll look at it on a larger time frame and go look. But you know, if you stop out twice in a row in opposite directions or in the same direction, if you do it in the same direction on the same market, you've probably done something wrong. But if you've done everything right and you have opposite direction stop outs right in a row, then the market is whipping around. You may want to go and look at what is going on a bigger time frame. Okay, so let's look at this on like, let's do it. Still do it in range bars, but let's do it on a 50 range. Okay, so on a 50 range, it's moved down with a pullback up with another move down is what should be happening right here. Okay, but the pullback up came up here, and so this should push all the way down right now to 850. Now that's looking at it on the 50 range. If we look at it on, say, a 5-minute, it should have a similar look to it. Okay, we're coming off the ribbon and it should push down here. The same thing. All right, this is 809 is what that's saying. And what did the other one say? 950? Is it a little more specific? Yeah, it was 809. So that's what it looks like it's doing right here. Okay, in the bigger picture. This move down right here this was a hiccup on that retracement. And this is just the push down. So we should go down here to the prior swing low is what it should do right now. And then go lower than that. So it's all good. And we still didn't put in a higher swing here. You see it did the same whip right here, but it didn't give us a trade setup on the ES and the Russell. It just gave us a trade setup on the NQ, sadly. All right, everybody that's watching on the live stream, if you have any questions, you want to see any of the symbols, you got to let me know. All you guys that are watching everywhere else, yeah, I did not forget you, Bart. I'm writing you down. I noticed you weren't there this morning, though. All right, so we need to put in a lower swing. No, we actually don't need to put in a lower swing. We just need to pull back over here. It doesn't actually have to put in a lower swing. Time is at 1:19, so we only have 11 minutes left in here. Wow, that might quick. Okay. Yes, don't let me forget about that live stream tomorrow morning. Valerie, if you're listening, don't let me forget about that live stream tomorrow morning. That I made the commitment. Make sure I remember it. I'll set it up when I'm done in here. I'll set it up. Just gotta remember to actually turn it on. Yeah, but then you guys that are watching in the live stream right now, or if you're watching after the fact, and you're watching after the fact because this 1 to 1:30 doesn't fit into your schedule. 9:30 to 10 tomorrow morning, we'll be doing it again. All right. So here on the NQ now, I feel pretty good about the down close of this one, continuing downward after what we just looked at. It's got to get down, well, here. It's got to get down to, was it 950 we were just looking at? Yeah, it's down here, 950. Okay, so right in here on the NQ. Now, did that actually hit the ribbon? It's not giving us any kind of an arrow because I'm not sure if it hit the ribbon right there. And it doesn't have to give an arrow if it hits the ribbon. Actually, it does have to give an arrow. No, it doesn't. I'm sorry. It's got to come out of the overbought to give us an arrow. Let's see. The high of this bar is 27.75, and the ribbon is 27.11. So that definitely did hit the ribbon. Let's just wait and see if we get this arrow here while it comes out of the overbought. All right, 30 and a half. Let's get down to 26 and a half. Oops, put that in place. There. Now, another thing you may want to wait for is for it to give the second leg. So far it's in the chop that it's gotten us into. Going one way, getting the first leg, going the other way, and getting the first leg. Waiting for the second leg may be the thing to do here. Yeah, waiting for the second leg is definitely the thing to do here. Over here, the gold, we're still waiting for that to go up and put in a higher swing. Nothing here. We went into a no trade zone here. We came out of a no trade zone here. And waiting for the second leg is definitely what you want to do here on the NQ. Let it figure out the trend. Okay. It's going to take, it looks like it's going to take it a few minutes to give us some direction. And it is now 13:22. 13:22. So we have about 8 minutes left in here. I don't see any questions coming in yet. Does anybody want to see anything that's not futures you want to see in equity? ETF, Forex, crypto. What are the cryptos doing today? Anybody? It's a good Bitcoin. I haven't looked at cryptos in a long time. Look at this. Feels like I haven't looked at them in a long time. You can't obviously do it on a 7 range. We'll do that on a 500 range. All right, so Bitcoin, well, it's bouncing around pretty well, but you can see it's giving arrows where it should give arrows. With Bitcoin, every bar is $5. $5 $50, $5 or 500 range. Yeah, every bar is $5. So, or I'm not $500. I think that's right. Yeah. So you can see it's giving good indications here for Bitcoin if you wanted to trade crypto with it. And it does the same for Forex and equities. If you want to do like Tesla, that's going to be on like a 50 range. It'll bump that down to a 50 range. Okay, well, you got to change the context on this, the sensitivity. 0.035. See what that does. That's a little better. Okay, if you say okay to that, we don't have trades triggering anywhere else right now. So if you say okay to that, you can come in here and take a look and see. Now using the same indicators, everything, you're going to be taking trades when price pulls away from the ribbon, comes back up and hits the ribbon, gives you a down close. Price comes out of the overbought, or price comes out of the oversold. And this is what it looks like on a 50 range. Every bar on this is 50 cents. Okay, every bar on that is 50 cents. Sorry, my voice is about to go. I only got to last another 5 minutes. And this one, every bar is $1. Okay, so given the price, this may be the better one to go with. It's based on the price over here. Okay, and so you're always looking for the same thing, again and again and again, no matter what you trade. Okay, put this back on the ES. Now with the ES, you are going to, when it loads up, I'm going to put that back on a 7 range. You could trade it on a larger time frame, but when we put it on a 7 range, we had to change the context on that. That needs to be 0.35 with the ES. Okay. All right. 1326. The markets just aren't giving us anything else right here. Okay, it's just starting to go sideways on us, sadly. As I said, we have a bunch of news coming up this week. Look in here. That's Friday. See all the stuff we have coming out on Friday. Big stuff. Unemployment rate, non-farm employment change. Thursday, we have big stuff coming up. ISM, final services, ISM, unemployment claims. And Wednesday, ADP non-farm employment. That's a big one right there. That's at 8:15 on Wednesday too, not at 8:30. Okay. And then tomorrow, we have manufacturing and Joel's job openings. And today, we didn't have anything. Oh, we had just little stuff. Chicago PMI came in worse than expected. You know, the markets are slow when I start looking at that stuff. Again, if anybody's got any questions, or if you want to take a free trial, go here to mytradingiq.com. Here is where you sign up for the free trial. Right there, 9:30 to 11:30 in the morning. Okay, now tomorrow morning I am going to be doing a live stream from 9:30 to 10. If you want to continue the live stream tomorrow, then you need to sign up for the trial. If you want to go the full 9:30 to 11:30 tomorrow. Okay, you can do it during the live stream tomorrow if you want, or you can do it tonight. If you want to be notified when that starts tomorrow morning, you need to click the follow button and follow us if you don't know how to do that. Okay. No trade zone. No trade zone. No trade zone. The Russell's coming out of the no trade zone here. Now, the long-term direction, these outer bands right here are your long-term direction. So it just changed here on the Russell from short-term to long-term. That's what that means, bullish, like that. So we need a deep pullback. Very deep pullback there. All right. Well, guys, we're getting down to the end of this session here, this 1 to 1:30 session. And sadly, all we had were a couple of stop outs there on the NQ. Not a lot of opportunity. I thought we were going to have more opportunity. With the NQ, you see how it went into a no trade zone right here. When it comes out of the no trade zone, which it just did, came out of the no trade zone, I would want to wait for the second leg once it changes the direction here and it chooses the direction, wait for that second leg to give you a trade, right? Because it's really undecided right here what direction it's going in. So I would wait for the second leg. And what I mean by that is like right here, when it changed directions, right here, it was your first leg, it was your second leg. Wait for that second leg. Right? Because the first leg didn't work, the first leg didn't work, the first leg didn't work. So wait for the first leg to work and go for the second leg once it establishes a trend. Okay. That's what I would do. And that is going to be it for me, guys. I'm going to wrap up the live stream for today. Again, we're going to be doing it tomorrow morning, starting at 9:30. We'll do another one tomorrow at 1 in the afternoon, but we're also going to do one at 9:30 in the morning. All right. So if you're watching on live stream right now, you're going to be part of that. Sign up for it. All right. Thanks for coming, everybody. And Dwayne, pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona. It's Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. If you are ready.
Recap of the morning session.
Today it took 10 minutes and 2 trades to get to $1,050.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
All right, guys, we were on silver before we went into that. And these are still last week's zones. Tomorrow's broadcast will have this week's zones. The zones come out at 9:15 a.m. Eastern. Publish the zones every week for our members and trial members since December 14th of 2009. And where price find resistance at the zone, the step line is crossed. So you're going to find resistance here, here, and then most likely a pullback to the BBC. The euro has already traded below the BBC. It's dealing with this support from earlier in the session. If it breaks that support, you got to look back to this support. And the short target is right down here where the bullish cross took place. Whenever there's a bullish cross that leads to an extended move, the first time price revisits that area, it will most likely be good support. Same is true of a bearish cross. But the markets are just sideways. Yes. You're above, you're below, you're above, you're below. Okay. This is good trading conditions. This is good trading conditions. Not so much. Dow came down at the short target. Found support at the zone. Again and again. The pullback to the BBC holds more often than not. So the Dow will probably end up heading lower. These wicks sticking up are good indications. There's just no buying conviction. They can run it up, but they can't hold it up. Russell is really the only one that showed some positive upside action. We got above, found support at the zone. We found resistance at the zone. NQ, support, support, support. Got red and climbing overhead. We're below the BBC. Got these wicks sticking up. It just tells you there's a lack of conviction on the part of the buyers. Crude oil did manage to overcome the zone after consolidating. Traded through. But again, look at all these wicks. Now pull back to the BBC, but we got red and falling overhead. So that will most likely be resistance. And most likely send us back down to this area here. Gold. Market open, got below the BBC, ran right to the target. Got above the BBC, ran right to the target, and then found resistance at the zone. The step line is crossed, so a pullback to the BBC would be in order. Silver, open, drop to the short target. When the market finds support, it's going to go look for resistance. When it finds resistance, it's going to go look for support. And then we get above the BBC, consolidate at the zone, and then in one candle go zone to zone, hit the long target, and then we travel all the way through this zone, pull back to the zone, we sliced through, and then resistance at the zone. The step line is crossed, and climbing directly above price is resistance, so anticipate a pullback to the BBC. And then there's the euro again. The daily chart, price still stuck where we were at the beginning of the session. This is a small range day compared to Friday, Thursday, in fact every day last week. When climbing's resistance, the step line is support. If price trades below the daily step line, and then we'll most likely head back to the 24% Fib extension, which was support on Friday, on Thursday, back on the 24th, and back on the 20th. It's pretty simple to get your goal for the day as long as you know which way the wind's blowing. Become a lifetime member with no recurring fees, no upsells, no nonsense. EminiFuturesTrading.com. If you have questions, call Valerie at 949-42-EMINI or send an email to support@cfrn.net. Passport is your all-access pass to everything we do, everything we've ever done, whatever we do in the future. As a passport holder, you'll enjoy not only the live training room, 2 hours a day, as long as you need it, unlimited one-on-one private mentoring, the strategy that you learn and the indicators you own for life as a passport holder are fluid across all markets and all time frames. Passport holders receive the Logic 247 alerts around the clock, Concierge Trade Alert report when it's published each evening shortly after the Globex Open, and of course attendance to the members only workshop on Thursday night. Everything a trader needs, all under one roof, one low price. EminiFuturesTrading.com. That will wrap it up for this Monday with our good word for the day. Now, we started talking Friday about your values. What are they? Have you given it thought? Ecclesiastes 2:11. As I looked at everything I had worked so hard to accomplish, it was all so meaningless. Here are two more scriptural values you should live by. 1, equality. For there is no respect of persons with God. Romans 2:11. In God's eyes, no person is more important than another. Not one. Some have received more access to the things the world offers, achieved more education, or been called to higher ranks of responsibility. But in God's eyes, no one is better than another. The ground is level at the foot of the cross, and we all approach God as sinners in need of salvation. So no matter what your position is in life, God expects you to treat everyone with the same respect. Number 2, generosity. Jesus said, "Give and it will be given to you. They will pour into your lap a good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. For by your standard of measure, it will be measured to you in return." 6:38. Others don't determine what you receive. Even God doesn't. You do. The amount you give will determine the amount you get back. You're never more like God than when you give, and you can never surpass Him at giving. The truth is, you have no reason to be anxious about not having enough if you offer generosity to others. Why is it important to have values that you live by? Solomon provides the answer. as I looked at everything I worked so hard to accomplish, it was all so meaningless, like chasing the wind. There was nothing really worthwhile. That's our good word for the day. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading E-mini futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.